Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today I'll be going over the Full Power Frieza. So, this is of course is a SH Figuarts figure, and a Pete Bandai exclusive at that, quite expensive. This one cost around $85. And of course we're going to be showing this thing off and seeing if it's worth that pretty hefty price tag. So, just like most figure arts here, these things are super duper detailed. Looks like it came straight out of the TV series. Now, I don't feel like there's really too much of a reason to go too crazy in this thing. One thing I can say that differs from the other figures is it actually has a little information or whatever on his, I guess you call it his lower back, mid back, whereas usually it's on the feet. So, not sure why they changed that, but I kind of like it there better, honestly. It kind of bothered me when they're on the feet, but I guess we'll go straight into articulation here. So, got 360 of the head, kind of goes side to side, bit of a front and back there. The arm, decent bit of movement there. You can see there's kind of that wiggle, goes in and out quite a bit there. 360. So he feels a bit more restricted in some of the figures I went over, but I guess you could kind of play around with the articulation and bypass that a decent bit. As you can see, even though Frieza's a little more bulkier than usual in this form, still has a decent range of movement there. A little bit of movement there at the wrist as well. You can make that out. Midsection, bit of a rocking back and forth, side to side. So as you can see, the combination of movements there, you can do quite a bit of decent poses here, especially for flying. Not quite 360 from the waist, but it does. Actually, no, that's what it does. So, okay. You want to dislocate Frieza's entire body, you can do so. Not quite a split, but pretty close at the waist there. Even though Frieza's pretty big and bulky, a surprising amount of leg movement here, especially going upwards. So you can do some pretty good kicks there. So next up, we got the bend at the knee, not bad. Again, if you move it just right, you can get all the poses you want with Frieza there. Oop. You also get the foot to come off. I don't think I could quite put that back in when I was playing around with it later. Earlier. So of course you can do a 360 at the foot. And again, just kind of want to be careful with that because as you're seeing, these things can come off. But I believe that's really about it. Only thing I'm really missing actually is the tail. The tail has a decent bit of articulation there. I also want to mention this little waist section. It's like this little soft material. It's a little flexible and whatnot. Now you can kind of see the back here kind of flexes and wiggles and all that. And I do not want to comment on Frieza's big veiny tail here. So that is going to be it here for articulation when we go over Frieza there. So next up, we're going to go over accessories. So getting on over to accessories, Frieza has quite a bit. We have this Death Slicer effect here that comes with two of them, as well as a hand that you can use to put into said saucer. I'll show that a little later. A whole bunch of sets of hands, some feet as well, faces. So we have the face, looks like for Frieza getting about to be cut in half, the little grinning one there or whatever. Well, this is a grinning one. This is, I don't know, angry or serious face. As I mentioned in a box of this thing, I believe it's last week, we have a little extra face here for Goku getting, well, it looked like elbowed in the face. Now, unfortunately, I tried this out on my Super Saiyan 2 Goku and it does not work. So this is going to only be for the legendary Super Saiyan Goku here. This thing will not focus on it. But I was about to say, you're going to have to get that one in order to use that piece there off. So we're going to be going right back on into reviewing Frieza some more. So let's get this right back on the tripod. So I guess first up we'll do one of the faces. So you just take that all off and I put on what actually was the head that came with it. It's a nice satisfying snap to let you know it is in. And speaking of satisfying, there we go. Now it wants to focus. And when I focus, when I tapped it before. So next up, I guess I do the feet. Why not? Go ahead and take those on off. And then you can replace them with the ones of Frieza's toes being curled there. Or, I don't know how else to describe it besides toes curling, but anywho. There you go. So you can hear the snap. So you can actually kind of get them to stand a little bit with the tail. Not much. You're going to definitely need an action base, which all of them I kind of have a little preoccupied right now, so I can't really use that. Actually, hold on. I might have something right here I could use. Let me see. Nah. Oh, wait. There we go. Now I think I might be able to pull something off. Let me see. This should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Move this up a little. Let's see. Up and back. This is sort of a little. Not quite what I was going for, but yeah. You as you can see, if you get this base balance right, you'd be able to pull something off there. Oops. There we go. So yeah, most part you can make use of action base 5 there for that. So moving on along here, I'm going to go ahead and put the normal feet back on. Move him back down here. I gotta figure out what I did with normal feet. Oh, here we are. Kind of need him grounded again. All right, there we go. So now, going over the hands, just snap those off here, nice satisfying click. And then going over the depth slicer, so again, there's 2 of them. What you do is, you can make that out the little hole there, and then there's the peg in the hand. Focus. There we go, come on. You just want to kind of plug that in there. Now, one thing to note about the piece for the depth slices is it can separate from 2 different sections. It can separate from the slicer itself or from the hand. So if you, by default, try to take the, let me see if I can demonstrate on this side. Nope, you see it plugged off on the side. I guess I'll plug it, there we go. So again, it should look like this. You see the peg and the slicer and then the hole in the hand, yeah. If it originally looks like that, and then you plug it off and plug it back on, and then the piece from the depth slicer is out as it's in the hand, don't freak out. Again, it deattaches from both sides, so you just put it right back on in like so, and you're fine. So, speaking of putting it back in, you would simply, line up in there. There we go. Peg that on into the hands like so. And now you can have him with both these saucers ready to toss at Goku and see how he likes being cut in half. So that's about it for those. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy with the hands because we'll be here all day look at them. So I'm just gonna switch out one more pair of hands, and then we're gonna go ahead and end this off with some size comparisons as well as my verdicts here. So which ones do we use? I guess I use these. Blast or slapping hands. I'm not sure what these exactly are supposed to be for, but we'll use them anyway. So there we go. I'm gonna assume it's like for him trying to block a Kamehameha. I can imagine, I'll take one more head off. Whoop. Okay, or we'll take the entire neck off. That's the only thing about this. The head is on so good. you kind of have to try to grab it by the neck. Oh my goodness, I mean, another piece coming. Is that, hold on. Yep, yeah, see this? That's what I'm talking about, this thing. There's so many pieces want to dislodge from his neck. So, it's a little tricky. Even switching heads, because everything was unplugged. There we go. Wait for me here. So, switching it out like so. There we go. Now that looks a bit more right. That looks normal, like a unblock a Kamehameha from the legendary Super Saiyan himself, and it's not working. But again, on a size comparison. So first up, we'll start off with Mecha Frieza. So as you can see, even though Frieza is pretty big and stocky in his form, he is no bigger than his mecha form here. People calling me while I'm doing a review here. Thank you for that, people. So he's like, okay, maybe he's a little taller. He's slightly taller, but again, not much more. Now, however, if you want to go for Frieza's absolute unit of a form here, that of course is going to be his second form. He gets noticeably bigger in his second form. So it's kind of a bit of a marry between the two. I mean, this isn't his normal full power, obviously this is mecha, but you get the gist of it, you know. You get the full power form and you combine it with the second form, you basically get this. It's a little taller, but definitely much bigger than this one, but not nearly as big as that one. But that is going to be it for this review. Again, I don't want to go too crazy here. So the verdict for the kit, or figure, I'm definitely going to be recommending this thing. A little on the pricey side, but for the most part, I'll say the Death Slicer effects here are definitely worth it. I love when they have the little blaster signature attack type effects that they add with these things. Now, this thing doesn't have any death beam stuff. And I doubt you'd be able to use any other Frieza's hands for that kind of thing, as I'm going to assume this thing probably uses at least one, if not one set of the right hands here from the full power version. And I mean, I don't think I need to go too crazy here. Clearly, the full power has bigger hands than the final form. I guess you call it the final form now, or you know what I mean. But yeah, geesh. I don't want to ramble on here too much. I like the idea of keeping this review less than 15 minutes. So obviously, if you guys have any comments or questions for me, maybe there's something I might have left out, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be able to answer them for you. But as for now, we're going to go ahead and end it right here. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for yet another review.